Hey guys, this is Zach Murray, and this is my Module 5 Barriers to Web 2.0 assignment. The first article, talking about some of the barriers in 21st century schools, I just put a few things that stuck out to me, and things that I agree with as well. One of those being graduates need to be equipped with all these technological skills when they graduate. Our world is moving very quickly to mostly technology, and pretty much every industry is being impacted by it. There's a lot of things that can be done by a machine now that used to not be able to. So there's other things that need to be worked on, I guess. The line between creator and consumer is getting blurred, no doubt about it. And then one thing also that stuck out in this article was negatives of, the things that are going on the internet right now. Obviously, viral posts, and those can be positive too. Sometimes there's feel-good stories that are posted, but other times there's negative things that are being posted or things that get taken out of context. Somebody says they film one half of a sentence that somebody says, and it completely changes the context in which it was said. It gets posted, and things kind of go crazy from there. Social network addiction. I'm as guilty of it as anybody. I feel like if I have nothing to do, I immediately pull my phone out and check Twitter or Facebook or whatever it is. And I know that's how a lot of people are. And then obviously the cyberbullying, which is pretty rough and can be pretty brutal. And that's one thing that we need to work on big time. Then the barriers that obstruct technology adoption and education. And I've talked about this in other modules. Not having a vision, which is something that I think our district is battling right now. And then I listed some other ones on there too, like the teachers' roles are changing into more dealing with social and emotional stuff, because the machines can take care of a lot of the stuff that we used to have to do. The achievement gap, obviously, with some students not being able to even use the internet at home, which we'll discuss later. And then there's a few more things like thinking beyond textbooks, and then having funds to be able to invest in the technology. The article on the digital divide just kind of blew my mind, knowing that over a quarter of Americans have no access to broadband internet service. I've never, I guess I've been lucky and fortunate that I've just kind of always had access to it. I had it, when I was a kid growing up. I've had it everywhere I've lived. It's never been an issue with me. I remember when the internet was kind of first becoming big and the dial-up connection and waiting, 30 seconds for a page to load up, which is, I can't imagine that now, as everything seems to be, we need instant gratification and we need information right now. So for people to not have internet at all is just mind-blowing to me. And then the Open Educational Resources article, basically this is just where documents are kind of living and breathing in public to where they can get edited, shared, copied. I mean, they're made for people to use and people to make better. Districts are becoming more open-minded to giving this a try. And then it talked about some organizations wanting to fill entire, curriculum instead of just a module or a lesson. That gets us into our questions. Do you think the digital divide can be solved? I think it can be solved, but we have to put it at the forefront of what is going on. We need to realize that technology is huge. Kids, students, we need access to the internet. That's where you find anything you want now. Like looking for what's going on in the world. I can't tell you the last time I've watched TV to figure out what's going on. It pops up on my Twitter, and then that's how I get my news. So we need, our government officials or whoever's in charge of that stuff to get on the same page, put our students first, put our kids first, knowing that our world is changing and becoming more into technology. Everybody needs access to this. Something that I read in that article that I didn't know before is there's been 28 communities that have either extremely low cost or free broadband services, and they're just kind of piloting it right now. And then also there's a bunch of like white space or channels that aren't being used right now that if they could open up to not have to license those, that would be a way to possibly get some more access out there. So I do think it can be solved. I don't really know how, other than everybody needs to get together, get on the same page, get one big vision, and putting kids first and realizing that this is stuff that's needed. This is how the world is working now, and we need to take advantage of it. The skill sets that 21st century students need, man, it seems like there's a lot. I think probably the most important thing that people could have are the soft skills, just social skills, knowing how to interact with people. That is something that has really, really fallen off, in my opinion, with the advances in technology, because people have their nose in their phone so much. And again, I'm just as guilty of that as anybody, but we still have to be able to know how to act around other people and know how to react to certain situations. And I included digital citizenship in that one because social skills kind of rolls right into that, knowing how to treat people and do things on the internet. I think people need to be creative, critical thinking, communication kind of goes into the soft skills, but it's extremely important. Collaboration is the same thing, but you have to be able to work with people to be successful today. I'm one of 2 PE teachers in our building, and we have to work together with not only us, but the other specials classes in our PLC group. So you not only have to work with people that do directly what you do, but other people around you as well. Obviously, they have to be literate in technology. We've already said that. And I think you also have to be empathetic and understand what people are dealing with. Not everybody's the same as you, and you have to be helpful as well. How has the global economy impacted my personal use of the internet? Kind of already talked about this a little bit, but like news-wise or information, scores, I really like sports, scores, things like that. I don't even have to turn on the TV anymore. I can just look on my phone and get any information I need within seconds. If I have to buy things, I don't have to leave my house. I can go to Amazon, have it ordered in roughly 15 seconds. Also, something that's really big about this is communication as a coach and communication with parents as a teacher. You can use social media to get messages out very easily, and it works out very, very well. Training that I need to effectively integrate technology. I will be the first to admit I am not great with technology in the gym. It comes a little bit from me not having training, to not doing research, to just worrying about having 50 kids at a time, only seeing them twice every 7 days and wanting them to move. But that's my job to figure out how we can incorporate technology into a moving class. I know fitness trackers is a great one. We have to get the funding to do that. And can we have 50 at a time, and will that work over the entire school? Can different kids put on the same band? I would just need somebody to walk me through that and see how that works. So the training that I would need would probably be endless, just to know what I could use in the gym and what I couldn't. Like I said, I'm not great with technology. I'm open to it. I'm very open to technology. I love technology. It's just more of a is it worth it in the little amount of time that we have, and how can I get that information? Is our district equipped with 21st century technology? I do think we do a really nice job, especially at our middle school and high school. Every teacher has iPads. We have the one-to-one initiative with Chromebooks, so every student from middle school up gets a Chromebook. Smart boards, which are kind of becoming obsolete. I think they're taking them out of our classrooms and replacing them with Apple TVs, or at least that's the what I've heard. Assistive technology with our special ed education classrooms. Some of the stuff I've seen them use is amazing. We have a drone type class that they offer at our high school. Same with coding. They offer coding classes as electives at the middle school and the high school. I know our classes, or our leadership team, have Skyped with classes all the way across the globe, just kind of talking about various things, which is cool. We have a thing here called BYOC, which is Build Your Own Curriculum. We all, the last 2 years, have been working on making our curriculum a living, breathing document where it's on the internet. We can edit it at any time and resubmit it to the board for approval, which is pretty cool. Some advantages of innovative practices in schools. I think that there's nothing but advantages. I mean, well, there's disadvantage obviously, but I think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. It's teaching 21st century skills. It's teaching the citizenship like we talked about, and it gets them more prepared for the real world and experiences. You've got to be able to work together. You've got to be able to brainstorm, problem solve. And that's stuff that these practices are doing. Then obviously the disadvantages would be the achievement gap. You know, some people don't have the same amount of access. Funding, always an issue. Having your phone in your hand at all times, like I said, can get your mind going other places. Then obviously there's going to be people who want to post inappropriate stuff or have access to inappropriate sites. That we have to watch out, and that's where the digital citizenship comes in. Hopefully we've trained them well enough. Have I ever had any problems with cyberbullying? Not in PE, because we don't mess with laptops and whatnot, but when I was shadowing for some of my hours for this program, there was a girl who got caught going to an inappropriate site. Unfortunately, I wasn't there for the discussion because she had to leave for some appointment, and by the time she was back, I was done shadowing. But I know it happens. And just from my experience, I've seen posts on Facebook or Twitter that get out of hand really quickly. Basically, don't put your opinion on social media, because there's going to be people that don't agree with it. And it ends up, where you're fighting and mad at each other, and it's really not worth it. And then I just put in a general statement that I think, especially with our district, we need more training in digital citizenship, even for teachers, students. I don't know that they go through much of anything when they get their Chromebooks each year, and I think we need to be more, on it with that, because that's where people can get themselves in pretty big trouble. So that is my Module 5 presentation. Thank you guys, and look forward to watching yours.